We woke up this morning to some difficult news that Russia has officially invaded Ukraine. Now, this is not the news story that we typically would talk about, but a lot of you have been reaching out asking us how this impacts European cruises, specifically in the Baltic. And while we haven't heard much from the cruise lines, we have the first response coming from one of the major cruise lines this morning. Well, hello everyone. Thank you so much for watching. If you're new to the channel, my name is Jordan and this is JJ Cruise. This is a difficult topic and we went back and forth on whether to even discuss this on the show today, but we've actually been receiving emails and direct messages throughout the week specifically about this, and there is a little bit of news coming from one of the cruise lines, so we decided to hop on and make a cruise news video. But before I do that, I do just want to say that our hearts and our prayers are with the people of Ukraine. If you are sitting in Ukraine right now, I cannot imagine how scary of a time this must be. And just know we are thinking of you and we are praying for you, and we're with you. We're going to try to get right to the point here today. A lot of people have been, like I said, reaching out asking us what's going to happen to the European cruises, and will European cruises be impacted by Russia's invasion into Ukraine? The short answer is no. Most European cruises should not be impacted by this. Right now, it's just one country invading another country, but there is one specific port in one of those countries that is a cruise port that may be impacted, and that is the city of St. Petersburg, Russia. Now, St. Petersburg does sit all the way up north of Ukraine and where this invasion is currently happening, but I think it's safe to assume that due to the ongoing situation over there, there's a good chance that St. Petersburg could drop off of a lot of itineraries, specifically in the Baltic. Now, Baltic cruises typically hit up the Nordic countries, so these cruises go to places like Stockholm, Finland, Oslo. You have, of course, cruises out there that visit the Norwegian fjords. I've heard those cruises rival Alaska. I've yet to see it myself, so I don't know if I believe it. But the crowning jewel of most of these cruise itineraries in the Baltic is St. Petersburg, Russia. A lot of people take Baltic cruises specifically to visit St. Petersburg, and I don't blame them. St. Petersburg is a beautiful and culturally diverse city full of rich history, and it is one of the coolest cruise stops that you can go on in the world. But we currently have cruise lines rethinking St. Petersburg, especially for this upcoming European season. Norwegian Cruise Line is the first to break the silence this morning, as they have come out and said that they have officially had a meeting with their executive team to discuss what ports could be replacing St. Petersburg. Now, that is currently all that came out of that meeting, but they said that they were looking at other potential Scandinavian cities or cities up in Northern Europe that they could go to instead of St. Petersburg. Currently, a company like Norwegian only has about 5% of their cruises visiting St. Petersburg, Russia. But 5% is not a small number, and there's still quite a few people that visit Northern Europe throughout the summer. And Norwegian isn't the only one. Norwegian Cruise Line, Carnival Cruise Line, Royal Caribbean, the big three all have planned itineraries to go to Russia in 2022. Each of these cruise lines clearly see a need for Baltic cruises in the market, and they've all invested time and ships in that space. Now, this is a strange coincidence, but Jared and I actually were supposed to be going to St. Petersburg, Russia in April. That's just 2 months from now. Due to just some personal changes, we had to change those itineraries around, and we are now visiting the Mediterranean instead of the Baltic. But it just goes to show that you never know what can pop up and unexpected things that can happen when you are planning a cruise. Now, the questions that we have been receiving this week have really been from people wanting to know, do we think that they should cancel their cruise? Now, of course, we are never, ever in favor of somebody canceling a cruise and not taking their trip. But I think that there's just a few things that you have to weigh here. The first thing is, are you taking this trip specifically and only to go to Russia? If that's the case, this is something to seriously consider, because while things can change in a moment and things can get better, things can also get much worse. And while St. Petersburg, Russia has not been officially taken off of some of these itineraries, if things continue to go the way they're going, they probably will be. So don't set yourself up for disappointment. taking this trip specifically to visit a port that is currently going within a country that is going to war. It's something that you probably should reconsider. Now, if you're someone taking a Baltic cruise and you're totally cool with visiting places like Stockholm and Oslo and Finland and sailing out of Copenhagen, Denmark, then by all means, absolutely take your cruise, because those types of stops are probably going to stay. And like the executives at Norwegian Cruise Lines have said, they're specifically looking at cities within Scandinavia, within the Nordic countries, to replace St. Petersburg, Russia. So it doesn't seem like Baltic cruises are being scrapped completely. It just seems like they're being a little bit reconfigured, and the itineraries will probably get updated. Now, of course, as I said, this is an ever-changing situation, so we here at the channel will definitely be watching for updates to see what's going to happen and when St. Petersburg does get pulled off of itineraries, and we will be more than happy to share that with you. I feel like I've said this so much in the last year, and I think that everyone's getting really tired of hearing this, but it is important. The cruise lines ultimately have your safety in mind. They care about keeping you and your family safe while you are on vacation. So the cruise lines aren't going to put you in a spot that's going to be dangerous. They're not going to put you in a place that could potentially be compromising to your safety. And you just have to know that if we see these itinerary changes in Europe happen, it's ultimately to keep you safe and to allow you to have a relaxing and non-disruptive vacation this summer. Like I said, Jared and I are getting ready to head to Europe, but obviously in a little bit of a different part of Europe. So we're gonna have to sit back and watch what happens. We are super invested because we ourselves are headed over to the other side of the pond. And so we really do want to know what is going on and how this is going to impact travel. So I ask you, let me know in the comments, do you currently have a cruise scheduled to St. Petersburg? Is that something that you are looking forward to? Does this news just officially destroy your vacation? I feel like so much cruise news nowadays, that's what it does. We hear something and we realize, oh shoot, we're going to be impacted again by this. But let me know in the comments what you think. And this was a much more sombering video, so I did not put my plea out at the beginning to hit that subscribe button, but of course it's always appreciated if you are invested in cruise news and the cruise industry and you want to go along for the journey with us. Definitely hit that subscribe button, because we will be watching what's going to be happening with this ever-changing situation. Okay, well, that is all I have for you today. Thank you again. Don't forget to hit up the like button. It does tell YouTube that you like what you see. And let me know again in the comments what you think about this situation. I do just want to say that our hearts and our prayers and our thoughts are with the people of Russia. I can't even imagine what is going through your minds right now. It must be so, so scary. And again, we are praying for all of you over there. Thank you so much for watching. And until next time, see ya.